when you're up in the International Space Station shooting a music video
Yeah.
of David Bowie's Space Odyssey.
Space Oddity.
Space Oddity.
Space
sorry,
Oddity,
Oddity.
yeah,
All right. Did part of you at one point say, I'm actually shooting a video up here? It was a great video, by the way. Some great lighting. I was like, how did he get the lighting?
It was really cool. The whole lighting story was kind of fun. But just quickly, I've never covered a Bowie tune in my life before I left Earth. Covering Bowie,
Right.
it's ridiculous. It's just outrageous. I'm going to cover Bowie, yeah, right. Then I'll do some ELO and Bach while I'm at it. It's just it's arrogance.
You would practice Rocket Man in case you were to play with Elton John.
Rocket Man,
that
sure.
You had down,
but Rocket Man is more of a folk song. Bowie he's such a creative artistic force. It's just you're not going to cover him very well. And I'm more of a bar musician or folk musician. But I got to orbit. There was this sort of a growing internet clamor. As soon as they learned there was a musician on board, because I wrote with my brother this Christmas song, released it just before Christmas, and it got through SoundCloud. I think it was out, 70 or 80,000 people had heard this song, and so there was this big clamoring. Oh, you got to cover Oddity, and it just never occurred to me to cover a song nor to do Oddity. But
is it odd how strangely accurate Oddity is? When I look at those lyrics, it sounds like you must be up here thinking, David was really thinking what it was like to be up here.
David Bowie wrote that song before they walked on the moon. He sort of did it in a response to Space Odyssey, the movie, but it was prior to Apollo 11 that he released that. And he wasn't very old. The way the song sounded to me after I did my karaoke version of it up there, David in one ear, I just sang along with him, did just a straight audio track on GarageBand. But the thought you just said, when I listened to my voice singing that song on orbit, I could feel that the words and the environment somehow worked together so that it became more than I thought it was going to be. The place had soaked into my interpretation of the song somehow, and I wasn't expecting it. Then I called a friend, M. Greiner, who used to sing in Bowie's band. She was one of the backup singers in his band. And I said, hey, I'm thinking of doing Oddity from orbit. She said, don't do Oddity. The astronaut dies at the end, and it's kind of, everyone's done Oddity. But I said, well, but listen to this vocal track. And she listened to it, and she went, oh, man, could I put a little piano in front of that? Because I think it'd sound really nice. And then she brought in Joe Corcoran down in L.A., and they put the instrumentals underneath, and it became that audio track. And then when I heard that audio track, I realized this isn't just a little project, a father-son kind of thing anymore, because it had been my son, Evan, who'd kind of goaded me into doing it. I realized this is way better than I thought it was going to be. This is a really cool audio version of the song, and we should try and do something with it. And then my son, Evan, said, Dad, it's got to be video. You're on a spaceship. You got to make a video of it. And I was busy and doing stuff, but one Saturday, I thought, okay, I need to make a video of Space Oddity on a spaceship, and I can't bug anybody else because everyone's busy doing what they're doing. I need to do it by myself. So, and my son just said, just make a video. I'm like, okay, what do you do? So I just thought, well, I'd seen some videos and I had enough documentaries made that at least I had some idea of how to construct it so that it might work. So then I took the recording that we had of me singing the song, put it on an iPad, and then strung up a camera and just floated around singing the song in a bunch of different places and just singing the song like it feels to me, what it means to me. Like I would sing it if I were singing it live in front of an audience. And then I mounted the camera somewhere and did some guitar and played singing the song. And then I thought it'd be really nice to actually Evan sent me a note saying, Dad, we need some with the world in the background if you can possibly do it. I said, that's really hard to light. You just can't do that. I said, but I got a half hour, I'm going, ah. So I got up into the cupola with a little bit of time. If you look closely at the video, you see there's a light right here and a light right here on my face, like two toaster oven elements on my face. I couldn't see a thing. I set up the camera, I hit record, and I got these two lights on, and I couldn't see a thing. But luckily, we happened to be over a part of the world where the lighting was such that my face stood out. It wasn't darkened by the brightness of the background, and I just recorded the song once. I didn't even look at it. I just, because I was in a hurry, pulled the chip out of the camera that night, downlinked it, and that became the song. And it's been seen hundreds of millions. Just where my son posted it, it's I don't know, 28, 27 million or something like that. It's crazy. Because I think people didn't expect the space station to be like that. I think people sort of have a weird, incomplete idea of what it's like to be on a spaceship. Some sort of strange robotic laboratory boredom and loneliness. And I think by trying to let people see, by using an iconic artistic song to express what it's actually like to be on a spaceship, I think people that otherwise would have no interest or no real comprehension of it suddenly saw it a little differently. The cultural nature of it, the introspective nature of it, what it feels like to us, and to express it through music is maybe a whole different way for people to grasp the feeling of living on board a spaceship. It was just a little project, but it's been fun to watch what it turned into.
Yeah, my daughter saw it last night when I was just preparing for this, and she got it right away. I didn't have to say, okay, this is Commander Hadfield, and he was in there, and she's like, she got it. She's like, oh, okay, I get it. And the lyrics seems to be like you're thinking about the lyrics as you're singing them, and yet I know David wrote them, a long time ago, and yeah, it's very moving.
We did change the lyrics slightly. Actually, when my son said, hey, Dad, everyone wants you to sing Oddity, I'm going, the astronaut dies in Oddity. I don't want to sing a song about dying. So being a father, I was like, this is a teaching moment. Son, if you'll change the words a little bit so the astronaut doesn't die, I'll sing the song, because I didn't think it was going anywhere. But he did a great job. Evan did a lovely job of just changing a few lyrics around so that it became sort of updated. This, because Bowie was guessing. And he thought they were going to die on the way to the moon. They almost did in Apollo 13. And since then, we've lost some crews in space. But at the same time, it's immensely optimistic and far-reaching and historic. And Evan did a really nice job of just tweaking a few of the words. But it's essentially completely Bowie's creation. But whenever I sing a song, somebody wrote those words. Somebody wrote that music. This isn't Right Said Fred banging out some words that are really just a rhythm, but these are actual lyrics talking about an idea. This is poetry set to music, and you shouldn't read poetry like a robot. You should read poetry with your emotional expression of what it means to you. That's how you should read poetry quietly to yourself or out loud. It's definitely how you should sing a song. And so even while I was floating around in the ship singing it, there's nothing more important than what you're doing right now. And singing those words, it's worth thinking about the words that you're singing, and let them express through you the way that they really move your emotions around.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonreelacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonreelacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there, and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.